Hey playa, are you too nervous or worried to ask out your crush because you feel like you might be overweight? Sometimes not feeling like you're the ideal size can really throw off your ability to talk to someone that you like. But don't worry, in this video I'm going to share a few tips on how to develop the mindset you need to ask out your crush regardless of how big you are.
This is the Just Me. You're watching the Just Me.
When it comes to feeling fat or overweight, it can really put a damper on what you feel you're capable of, but it really shouldn't. The first thing you should focus on, even before thinking about asking out a girl, is dealing with your weight. And the best way to do that is to accept who you are in this moment right now. As far as changing yourself by losing weight, that'll come in time. But if you can't feel comfortable in your skin as you are, then you're always going to battle with never feeling good enough. You are you, whether you're overweight or not. Just because you don't look the way you do doesn't mean you're incomplete. And that's something you have to recognize at the beginning. One thing you might be fearful of is rejection. And I get it, rejection is scary. And for you, you might feel like your weight will be the reason why you might get rejected. You might be telling yourself it's impossible for your crush to like you because you're fat, and that's that. Well, what you're really doing is masking your fear of rejection and using your weight as the excuse. I don't want to get into the whole, but there's tons of overweight guys out there with beautiful girls thing to prove your feelings wrong. Your feelings are totally normal and valid here. But if you're using those feelings to justify your actions, if you're saying your crush won't like you because you're fat or short or have acne, then all you're doing is disqualifying yourself before you've even tried. And that's something you should never do, regardless of what you think your shortcomings are. Another major problem you might be running into is comparing yourself to skinnier or more muscular guys. Maybe you've seen your crush talking to a few of these guys and you thought, well, they are physically superior to me, so why even bother? Don't count yourself out yet. Looks are important, don't get me wrong, but they aren't everything. In fact, the deeper you get to know a person and the stronger of a connection you build with them, the more looks tend to fade to the background. So even if you feel like you're in competition with the most attractive guy in school, his looks only go as far as his personality, and if that part of him sucks, the rest is gonna crumble. To be fair here, there will be cases where there are people with someone only for their looks, and that shallowness is the kind you run for the hills and avoid. Okay, so now that we've laid out the mindset for how to prevent yourself from self-sabotage if you feel overweight, what should you do to ask out your crush and maybe even get her to say yes? Well, I think the key piece of it all is to focus on your standout qualities. We all have them, but you may not know upfront what they are. For you, maybe you tell jokes, or you're a snazzy dresser, or you might even be the person people can turn to for life advice when they need it. And if you could start to figure out what those abilities are, you'll now have something to focus on when you talk to your crush. If, for example, you're telling a funny story to your crush and you have them engaged, the thought of your weight might not even pop in your head, and if they're truly engaged, they won't even recognize it either. We should, however, address the overweight part of this too. I am going to say that you should be exercising and eating healthy, but not solely because you're overweight, primarily because it's going to make you feel confident in who you are. People don't realize that exercising every single day, whether it's going for a walk or doing a few push-ups, maybe even just eating healthier, gives you much more choice over the actions you take in life. Exercising and eating healthier are two basic things that most people can have control over, and when you do have control over them, it's easier to start shaping and implementing things in other parts of your life. So if you feel inadequate or incapable about asking a girl out because of your weight, try going for a walk. Try saying no to that burger. Exercising that free will make you feel like you have more options, more choices, and increase your ability to do the things you want to do. What do you think though? Is your weight holding you back from asking out a girl that you like? Leave your comments below and we'll talk about it. One thing I haven't really touched on is a girl that flat out rejects you because she thinks you're fat, and those are the type of girls you want to avoid at all costs. If that's happened to you before, or you felt like you got rejected because you're ugly or not good enough, check out the other video I've done addressing that topic. Look, you should always work towards feeling and looking good for yourself and your partner, but that initial step starts with accepting yourself right here, right now. As always, guys, love and peace.